And like we all, hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. So
yeah, that's what's up. Yeah,
that's
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. It is Monday, and that means it is time to read some comments from people who gave super thanks throughout the week. But before we do that, I gotta give a shout out to the channel members. Shout out to Gary, aka G the Great One, Dr. Les Barrett, Thanos Snap Feminism, Keith Brazell, Charles Hookah, In the Groove 56, Great Juice, The Real Siberius, The Real Heisenberg, Mary Lewis, Adidas 20, Rike, Wizman Ballin, Vernon Lee Warren, Matt Parker, Papa Yogito, Eric C, and the newest member, shout out to It's Not That Serious. I can't thank you all enough for being members of the channel, and I can't thank you all enough for your continued support. And without further ado, let's see what people had to say about the duck, the deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom this past week. So first up, shout out to @CPYX4CI. This is coming from my Why LeBron Hates NBA Media Response video. So this is actually a request by CP, and I forgot the video that I watched. Or I forgot who it was by, some guy named Wu or something. But anyway, he comes through with the $15 super thanks. He says, that whole video is straight up caps for LeBron James. That Danny Wu guy, not sure why he put his name on his video when the audience really don't care much about it. Provide evidence after evidence to back up his previous points, just to show that LeBron James is a martyr, while conveniently forgetting or ignoring some of the egregious things he had done throughout his career. I just want you to shed some light on the LeBron James fanboy syndrome, LJFS. It sounds exactly like the MBTI personality thing, with the real person on social media who has been capping for LeBron James to your viewers. That's it. Thank you as always. Yeah, like I said, I watched that video and I couldn't really, to me, the video almost felt like it didn't have anything to do with the point, which was supposed to be why LeBron James hates the NBA media. Because every example he gave, I couldn't figure out, didn't seem like a valid case for LeBron James to hate NBA media. On top of, like CP brought out, the guy didn't point out any of the things that LeBron James does to bring this upon himself. And yet, you know, my impression of that guy is he's like a lot of LeBron James apologist who tries to pretend to have some objectivity, who tries to pretend as if they're not a fanboy. But again, they're a LeBron apologist, and they just don't hold the guy accountable for the things that he does. So I think I left a link to the video in the video I did about it. But yeah, it's not a video I would ever watch again. But shout out to SCPYX4CI. Thank you so much for the $15 super thanks. Thank you so very much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to @Swan Daily coming through with the $2 super thanks. This is coming from last week's What Viewers Have to Say About LeBron James and Michael Jordan. He says, I'm surprised that you grew on your YouTube journey. I always was under the impression that you've had all of these negative but honest opinions about LeBron from the jump. While he's left a bad taste in my mouth since Miami, I truly didn't realize how despicable he was until I started watching your channel and others. To be honest, I wish I never did my due diligence. Scrutinizing LeBron's character is one of the most exhausting experiences I've ever had in my life. Facts. And I would say the only thing more exhausting than looking at LeBron's career is listening to LeBron James fanboys. Now that can truly lose you some IQ points. But yeah, like I said, when LeBron James first came into the league, I was indifferent, which differs from Kobe, because when Kobe first came into the league, I actually did not like Kobe Bryant. But the difference is Kobe won me over through his actions, through his, it's like when you see a guy out there giving his all on the court, and this is things that you can see. Like, people might want to pretend as if that's some kind of intangible quality that is no way to quantify. But if you watch the games, you can see who puts it all out there on the line every single time on the court. So through watching Kobe Bryant, watching his improvement over the years, watching his relentlessness, his attitude, his work ethic, and all of those things, after losing in the finals, and the guy said, what are you going to do to prepare for the next season? And Kobe said, I'll work myself to exhaustion. And you could see the devastation in his face. And because it was Kobe Bryant, you knew when he said, I will work myself to exhaustion, you knew he was not telling a lie, unlike LeBron James. You knew when Kobe said, I will work myself to exhaustion, that he was telling, matter of fact, he might have been underselling himself when how much he was going to work when he said that statement. You knew that that statement was coming from the heart and that he was telling the complete truth. So through watching Kobe Bryant, you can't help but respect the guy. You can't help but love the guy that goes out on the court and gives it his all. But with LeBron, I was actually indifferent to LeBron. I was like, okay, well, let's see. He came in with all the hype. I didn't hate LeBron at the beginning, but it was just over the years, the things that they were saying on the media didn't match up to what I was watching. But I didn't despise LeBron. it was my YouTube journey made me despise LeBron. Because then once you start looking into the other stuff, like once you start looking into the excuse after excuse, once you start hearing the same stuff about the guy over and over, he never has any help, and then you notice the flopping, which is, to me, that's egregious enough. And like I said, for me, 2018, for me, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The way he behaved doing that J.R. Smith blunder, that totally, I just couldn't. You can't come back from that. Not as a supposed great. You're going into overtime. The game wasn't over. You're going into overtime, and LeBron James was pouting like a 10-year-old kid and not rallying the troops, not preparing them for overtime, sitting on the bench, wouldn't make eye contact with J.R. Smith, just complete passive, aggressive, weak-minded behavior. And after that, I was done with the guy. So when I started my YouTube journey, I was more coming from a place of, there's no way this guy's the GOAT. I was coming from that place. Like, there's no way this guy compares to Michael Jordan. But as I kept digging, like I said, it didn't take long. I can't remember if it was a few weeks or maybe a month or so that I did a video why LeBron James isn't top 5. So very quickly, I discovered that, hey, there's no way this guy can be top 5. And then soon that evolved to top 10. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, LeBron James just shouldn't be ranked amongst the greats. Like he should be disqualified from that talk. And I'm putting together a video to try to explain in detail for anybody who may be on the fence. Try to explain in detail why LeBron James should not be ranked at all. I'm very serious about this. And, you know, to me, the only way you can disagree is to ignore the how. It's to ignore how LeBron James did all these things. It's to ignore the super teams by choice. The key word or words are by choice. Ignore the super teams that he formed by choice. It's to ignore the flopping and the whining and all this stuff that LeBron James does. And you have to ignore that to want LeBron James to be ranked among the greats. And so, yeah, you know, my YouTube journey has taken me from there's no way LeBron James can be the GOAT to there's no way LeBron James should be mentioned with any of the greats. But shout out to @Swan Daily with the $2 super thanks, and shout out to Swan Daily again. This is coming from my Why Jordans Are the #1 selling basketball shoe. And in that video I talked about I can't even remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but he's part of the Nike company still to this day. And he basically said that the reason Michael Jordan shoes sell is because it gave people the power to believe in themselves. And so I talked about in that video, you know, this is the whole be like Mike thing. This is why everybody wanted to be like Mike, because everybody knew that the qualities that Michael Jordan had could lead you to whatever your definition of success is, whatever it is that you wanted to do in life. If you take the Michael Jordan approach to it, you could get there. You know, if you take the never say die attitude and the work ethic and the killer mentality to go out there and do whatever you have to do with relentlessness and never let up, these are the things that I believe really drew people into Michael Jordan. That first drew the city of Chicago into Michael Jordan, and then the whole world. Is because they saw that in this guy. They saw that, man, no matter what situation he's in, he looks like he's ready to tackle the situation. Never looks defeated. Never ever looks defeated. As long as there's time on the clock, Michael Jordan looks like, okay, we can still win this some way, somehow. Like I haven't given up until the clock hits 0. And when a hot clock hits 0, I'm already thinking about, okay, well, next time, next time we gonna get you for sure. But just that never say die attitude. So anyway, shout out to Swan Daily coming through with the $2 super thanks, and he says, people really don't mention that Jordan has statistical stipulation in his contract. If he didn't meet those requirements, the Jordan would have ceased to exist. Also, now you brought up the 2012 finals. I vividly remember Serge Ibaka calling LeBron a bad defender to the press. At the time, I didn't know what to think. But 13 years later, he's correct. I'm going to have to go find that video. Fanboys, if I find that video, I'm going to make it the new intro. I'm going to make it the new intro to my video. Serge Ibaka saying LeBron James isn't a good defender, because, again, these are facts. I've said it on this channel many times. Is LeBron James, he gets overhyped because he's made some highlight defensive plays. Never been a consistently great defender, ever. He should never be mentioned with Michael and Kobe in that regard. For that matter, Bird. He should never, because, you know, Bird might not have been the fastest, but Bird put in the effort on defense. LeBron James is just, he's worthless. Like, he blames other people for his failures. He blames other people for their failures. It's like LeBron James, again, he just wants LeBron James' ideal situation on the court would be for everybody to do all the work for him and he get all the credit for it. That's his ideal situation because this is pretty much how he plays the game. But anyway, shout out to Ed Swan Daily. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks and your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to at Roland Curtis off Expo AMPNM. This is coming from my LeBron James says, only NBA fans care about ring culture, care about championships. No other professional sports leagues do they care about championships except the NBA, according to LeBron James. And he comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, well, the NBA and sports in general do provide individual accolades as well. Is LeBron James saying that in 22 years, he has accumulated more significant individual accolades than Michael Jordan did in 13 to 15 years? So Michael Jordan's significant individual accomplishments before winning NBA championships are more and better than LeBron James' significant individual accomplishments before and after winning NBA championships. We have to stress significant awards because LeBron James has a bunch of insignificant awards that any superstar would naturally accumulate just for breathing and coming to work, aka longevity. Facts. But looking at all the significant individual awards throughout both their careers, Michael Jordan has 5 MVP awards. LeBron James has 4. Michael Jordan has 6 finals MVPs. LeBron James has 3.5 or 4. And I'm starting to say 0 because, again, we're gonna do some deep diving into these Miami championship years, especially that one against OKC. That is highly suspect, people. Highly suspect. But anyway, he says Michael Jordan has 10 scoring titles. LeBron James has 1. Michael Jordan has 3 steals titles. LeBron James has 1 assist title. Michael Jordan has 1 Defensive Player of the Year award. LeBron James has 0 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Just saying, and the list goes on, people. the list goes on if we start digging into meaningful awards that Michael Jordan has that LeBron James doesn't, or meaningful like the 9 defensive team. Again, when people talk about defensive team for LeBron James, they always say 6, but it's very important to clarify that it's only 5 first team. Michael Jordan has 9 first team, and that's 9 in 15 years. LeBron James has 5 in 23 years. My goodness. Man, LeBron James fanboys, stay off my page. You guys are ridiculous. Your king has 5 first team and going on 23 years. And you want to say he's a great defender? Okay. But shout out to at Roland Curtis off Expo AMPNM. This is all facts. LeBron James, again, this is what we're talking about with this guy, is they have to try to make important what has never been important before. Now, all of a sudden, longevity is a huge part. And, longevity has only been a part as long as you are doing something with that longevity. Michael Jordan's 15 years with 6 championships, but really 13 full seasons. So this is an efficient career we're talking about. But LeBron James, everything that's related to him is just for the fact that he won't retire, which he should have did years ago. Like, what is he playing for? Except to just stack up stats. And what does that mean? Anyway, let's move on. Shout out to @G the Great One. This is coming from the same video with LeBron James talking about ring culture, crying because he only has 4 rings and he really doesn't have that. He says the clown is the same person who said the 2016 championship made him the GOAT. You can't make this stuff up. The guy is the most mentally weak superstar of all time. Skip Bayless was right on the money from the beginning. I will give him that. The sole purpose of this podcast is for the clown to try to rewrite history. If this bozo had 7 championships, he definitely wouldn't be trying to diminish them. Leader of the 3-6-1 kingdom needs to go away. Yeah, this is what we've been saying is every complaint LeBron James has is strictly selfish. It's self-serving. It has nothing to do with what's right or wrong. It has nothing to do with the standards. It has nothing to do for speaking up for other players. It is all strictly self-serving. This is right on the money. If LeBron James had 7 championships, there is no way that this guy would be trying to diminish quote unquote ring culture. What are you talking about? Back in the day before Michael Jordan had championships, Michael Jordan said in an interview, he said, I know that the only way for me to be in the same company with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson is I have to win. But see, this is the difference. Is Michael Jordan wanted to win because he's a winner and he wants to win. LeBron James wants to win so people will say he's a winner. This is the difference. Michael Jordan wants to win because he's a competitor. He wants to dominate. He wants to show you he is the best, and he wants to show you that by his actions, and he wants to do whatever it takes to prove that. Meaning, hey, okay, if my individual skills alone is not enough to get it done, then I got to be a better leader. I got to figure out how to motivate my team one way or another. I have to fill in every hole possible until I get the job done. But LeBron James, he only wants to win so that people will call him a winner. Again, this is the difference. This is LeBron James needs validation, and Michael Jordan is gratification. But anyway, shout out to @G the Great One. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to @the Doctor 3196 coming through with the $2 super thanks, and I still haven't forgot about that All-Star game. Hopefully I'll get to it this week. But this is coming from our Ryan Clark exposes LeBron James hypocrisy. He says, if you haven't done yet, we need to review how he lost those 6 finals. Blowouts, missed shots, quitting early, and then there are the fake injuries and blaming and self-promoting after he lost. And then the times he left. Just combos of everything. There are other videos out there on this, but we need to hear this from the Uncommon. I'll try to do a video like that, but my first thing I'm working on is these Miami championships. First thing I want to work on is these Miami championships, because like I said, LeBron James fanboys, they really truly manufactured your Kings career. LeBron James is the laboratory GOAT, the test tube GOAT. Especially against Oklahoma. You know, I don't even know what else to say. And like I said, what prompted this is somebody else did a video about those Oklahoma championships, and I was like, whoa, okay, we really need to revisit this. So again, on top of the fact of having super teams, we really might have to say LeBron James doesn't have any credible championships. He doesn't have any real championships. And, you know, again, the thing with the bubble championship is like, it's because of your track record that you can't get credit for it. Like when you have a track record of super teams, when you have a track record that you can't do it in the way that other superstars did it, then you don't get the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, shout out to at the Doctor 3196. But yeah, that is something we'll definitely take a look at eventually, is those 6 finals losses. But it's time to discredit all of his championships. It is time to discredit all the LeBron James championships. But anyway, next up, shout out to at the Real Siberius. This is coming from the same video. Ryan Clark exposes LeBron James hypocrisy. He comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says the system that LeBron has played in on every one of his teams is orchestrated to get him the ball to score points. His lack of defense helps him stack up rebounds. His assists are not assists, they are passes. Anyone that is impressed with his statistical accomplishment either knows nothing about basketball or is completely fine with the manufactured way he has accumulated them. There is nothing, I mean nothing great about his game. If LeBron played in the triangle offense under Phil Jackson, it would fail because LeBron is incapable of sacrificing for the greater good of the team. He does not care about winning. He cares about the box score and nothing else. If LeBron had 7 rings, we would hear about it constantly, and it would be the most important things. This is all facts. Yeah, this is all facts here, people. Everything he said, about the system, about his lack of defense helping him stack up rebounds, about his assists or not assists. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops, and you know, again, the guy is completely manufactured in every way possible. And yeah, he says anyone impressed with his statistical accomplishments either know nothing about basketball or they are fine with the manufactured way he has accumulated it. This is the only way, people. If you are a LeBron James fanboy, or if you are an apologist for LeBron James, if you are one of these people who find yourself capping for LeBron James, who find yourself doing mental gymnastics to try to explain the unexplainable about LeBron James, if you're one of these people who start off the season talking about how terrible the Lakers are, and then they get Luka Doncic going a run, and now they're saying the Lakers are going to win in 5, and then when they lose, you go right back to talking about they never had a good team to begin with. You are delusional, and you have accepted you are part of the machine that helps manufacture these things. You are part of the laboratory. You are one of the scientists who works in the laboratory to manufacture LeBron James. If you out here making these kind of excuses, you are part of the problem. But shout out to at the Real Siberius. Thank you so much for the $2 super thanks. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to at the Real Siberius again. This is coming from my LeBron would never say that to Kobe. And that is, he would never talk about how rings aren't important in front of Kobe Bryant. Yeah, that just wouldn't happen under any circumstances, because LeBron James is a coward on top of being weak and everything else. But he comes through with the $2 super thanks. He says, I have said it before and will say it again. You cannot be a fan of Jordan and LeBron. Why? LeBron is the antithesis of Jordan. Everything a Jordan fan respects and admires about Jordan, LeBron is the opposite. They aren't even opposite sides of the same coin. If Jordan is a silver dollar, LeBron is a wooden nickel. They are the same shape, but are made out of different stuff. Facts. Their values are completely different. Facts. One increases with worth with time, and the other will eventually fade to nothing. Shout out to At the Real Siberius. That is more facts than a LeBron James fanboy can handle. Says they are the same shape but made out of different stuff. Their values are completely different. One increases with worth with time, and the other will eventually fade to nothing. This is facts. They are opposites in every single way that you could possibly think of. And this is why, yes, you cannot be a fan of Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You cannot be a fan of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Every single thing about them is completely opposite. You know, you're talking about two people who grinded it out, who stuck it out, who put in the hard work to keep getting better. You're talking about another person who jumped ship every time it got hard. Every single time it got hard. When he couldn't win in Cleveland, he jumped ship. When D-Wade got old, he jumped ship. When he couldn't control Kyrie Irving, he jumped ship. And now he's in the Lakers, and I have a feeling the only way he remained a Laker is because it's money out there. It's money out there. He's getting close to retirement age, and LA is probably where he wants to be. So again, it's all selfishly motivated. But yeah, this is a fact. You're talking about two of the toughest, strongest players. LeBron James is the weakest superstar we have ever seen. If anybody can think of a weaker superstar, please, and when I say superstar, I mean this is the label that the media has given him, is the label of a superstar. He gets the attention of a superstar. He is talked about like a superstar. So if anyone can please tell me another superstar that is weaker than LeBron James, please drop it in the comments. I would love to know who in the history of the game that you actually think is more mentally weak than LeBron James, because there is none. All of the things that LeBron James does points to weakness. Flopping is a weakness. Forget cheating the game. It's just weak. And the whining, so here we go. When LeBron James, when I see him whining and throwing a tantrum on the court, because this is what it amounts to. Like, nothing makes me want to slap someone more. I'm thinking, like, you are supposed to be a grown man who is supposed to be setting examples for the rest of the league, who is supposed to be setting examples for future kids coming up wanting to play basketball, and you are on the court whining and crying and throwing a tantrum like you are in middle school, like you are 10, 11, 12 years old, and you have the nerve. You have the nerve to think that you should be compared among the greatest competitors to ever play the game. Like, every time I see LeBron James do that, like, it makes me want to reach back and slap him with every bit of might I can muster up. I mean, because it's just like, what are you doing? And it's a difference between disputing a call. It's even a difference between getting angry that you didn't get a call. But the whining and stomping your feet and throwing your hands up in the air like someone just ruined your life from this call. Like what are you doing to me? Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that is the worst. So yeah, all the things that LeBron James does, it points to weakness. And then anything he's not good at, then all of a sudden it's not valid anymore. Anything he's not good at, then it's not valid. Oh man, you know, what's rings, you know? I got 4 rings. So what that Michael got 6 rings? So what that Michael has 10 scoring titles and 9 first team all defense? Does all that stuff mean that he's better than me? Yes, LeBron James, it actually does. All of that stuff together means Jordan is in a league that you will never ever see. But anyway, shout out to At The Real Siberians. Yeah, people, I tell you what, when I see LeBron James whine, that is the most, you know, it's just like, wow. This guy's 40 years old. 40 years old. This is the LeBron James era. Next up, shout out to @Kenshiro Boss. This is coming from my Tracy McGrady. The ringless agrees with LeBron James about ring culture. Comes through with the $5 super thanks, and he says LeBron's Cracker Jack rings have inflated the egos of ringless players. Tracy McGrady should either consider Kobe Bryant would have been eliminated in the first round with the prime Yao Ming on the Rockets. McGrady had Yao in his prime, but still couldn't advance past the first round. Kobe would win at least 1 ring with that Rocket squad. Ironically, the only time the Rockets made it out of the first round was when McGrady was injured and didn't play in the playoffs. T-Mac is delusional. T-Mac is delusional indeed. Again, T-Mac is the prime example. Of course he would agree LeBron, because he's another player who didn't max out. He's another player that didn't reach his full potential. Kobe himself talked about the talent of T-Mac. But T-Mac didn't have the work ethic. T-Mac didn't have the mentality of a killer like Kobe Bryant did. And now, years later, he's whining. Because he wants to be seen. You know, this is my thing about people like this, about these players who think they should be in the conversation. Like, is that going to make you feel better? Is it going to make you feel better for people to put you in a conversation that you know you didn't earn? Is it going to make you feel better? Obviously it does. It's cope. Like, does it make you feel better to think that the only reason you didn't win a ring is because you didn't have the right team? You had Yao Ming. Again, if you switch out Kobe Bryant and put Tracy McGrady on the team with Pau Gasol, that team is not winning a championship. Because Tracy McGrady, you don't have the mental character to get it done. Let's just be honest. Tracy McGrady, you don't have the mental character to get it done. Yes, you might have skills and, had the ability to get some buckets and whatnot, but you don't have the mental fortitude. You don't have what it takes to lead a team to a championship. Because here's part of the problem with people like this is they think them being on the court and scoring points should lead to a championship. This is what they believe is, okay, I can score 30. I can score 26, 30 points. And if I'm on the court, I'm getting paid all this money, then as long as I score 26, 30 points, that should be good enough. I've done my part. This is the LeBron James mentality. As long as on the stat sheet it says I got 30 points and X rebounds and X assists, then I've done my part. But that is far from it. All of the greats had to lead their team to championships. This is what they all talk about. Larry Bird, his teammates talk about what a great leader he was. Magic Johnson, his teammates talk about what a great leader he was. Michael Jordan, even though his teammates might not have liked it at the time, they talk about, he was an a-hole, but he wanted to win. And looking back, he was a hell of a teammate. This is what Bill Whittington said. Looking back on it, he was a hell of a teammate because he made us all step up. Tim Duncan, his teammates say he was a great leader. Kobe Bryant, the same. So all of these players who didn't get it done, it's like, yeah, you might have been able to get some buckets, but you got to be able to lead. And the first step to leading is you have to be accountable yourself. But all of they's players, they're not accountable to themselves. They are excuse makers. Because to me, when I hear someone say, it's a team accomplishment, and had I been in another situation, well, then essentially you're taking the skill part out of it to some degree, because all you're saying is, well, hey, if I luck up and wind up on the right team, I can get some championships. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me getting better as a player and me getting better as a leader. If I wind up in the right situation, then I get championships, and if I don't, I won't. All the players who won up until now that people praise and give them their props, these players, they just were all lucky. Well, if that's the case, then, sports is just gambling. And who cares? But no, sports is, yes, it's a gamble in sports, but you can make it less of a gamble by maxing yourself out, by maximizing your potential as a player and a leader. It takes both, people. But anyway, shout out to Kenshiro Boss. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to Kenshiro Boss again. He comes through with a $2 super thanks. He says, also, Tracy talking playoff success. How is always losing in the first round success? These NBA players nowadays are so weird. I never heard Reggie, Ewan, Stockton say, oh, if I had Jordan, I would have gotten a ring. Tracy saying if he had Shaq is so disrespectful to his Rockets teammates, especially, this facts. Round of applause for this comment. This is facts. Yeah. And then it's disrespectful to his Rockets teammates. It's disrespectful to Yao Ming. And yeah, you don't hear about these players like Reggie Miller, who wasn't able to get a ring, like Charles Barkley, like Patrick Ewing, like Stockton say, oh, well, if we'd have just had Jordan, we would have some rings too, because that is weak. That is weak. You can't get around that. That is a weak mentality. What's the point of competing if you simply want to play with the best players? I thought you were supposed to be the best player. Tracy McGrady, LeBron James, Scottie Pippen. Even though Scottie Pippen got 6 rings, he obviously feels bitter that people don't see him like they see Michael Jordan. Like that is such a weak thing to, oh, well, if I'd have had Shaq, then I'd have won some championships. Maybe. But you are the weak link, Tracy McGrady, as a superstar. It's you. You don't have leadership. You couldn't get along with your own cousin, Vince Carter. Anyway, shout out to Kenshiro Boss. Hey, people, this has been this is going to be an eye-opening next year, because I feel like what's happening more and more is things are getting more and more polarized in this talk about basketball. because Michael Jordan is coming back. So you got people more and more who are speaking their mind about the duck, the deer, the leader in the 4 and 6 kingdom. But then you got suckers like Tracy McGrady, the ringless, the loser mentality mindset, who are now wanting to insert themselves into GOAT conversations so they can feel better about themselves. So they can put a Band-Aid on the scar that hurts because they never won. Oh, well, why can't we be included in the room with the champions? Just because we didn't win a ring, does that mean we're not as great? You're damn right. That's exactly what it means, Tracy McGrady. LeBron James, the fact that you only got 4 championships in 23 years, you're right. That means that you are not as good as Michael Jordan. But again, you're not as good as Larry Bird, who has less championships. You're not as good as you're not as good as Hakeem Olajuwon. You're not as good as Giannis for me. Again, test tube GOAT. Shout out to Ken Shiro Boss. Thanks so much for the $2 super thanks. Thanks so much for your continued support of the channel. Next up, shout out to the Black Room Experience, formerly This Is Rise. People, so the Black Room Experience is his podcast, so you should go check it out. He comes through with the $5 super thanks, and this is coming from the same video. He says, man, thank you, bro, for preaching on this one. It's crazy how these clowns disrespect Kobe after he's gone. T-Mac is exposing himself and why he never won. Facts. T-Mac. Facts. This is exactly what it is. T-Mac, when you say this, you are exposing the reason that you never won. When we hear you talk like this, it's like, oh, okay. Now we know why he doesn't have a championship. You putting that out, you exposing yourself. But anyway, he says T-Mac is exposing himself and why he never won. Real winners don't make excuses and want participation awards. I used to argue that T-Mac was better than Kobe, but over time, Kobe separated himself. People completely ignore defense and having the right approach to the game. Shaq and T-Mac might get one ring, and if they did, it would be because of Shaq, people. He says, people forget McGrady wanted to be like Penny, and Penny never won. This is facts. And, you know, Penny Hardaway, to me, injuries really killed Penny's career. You know, I think if Penny hadn't got injured, Penny would have been a champion at some point. That's just my feelings. But yeah, you know, I don't even know what more to say about this thing. But T-Mac, like I said, he just exposed himself. When people talk like this, it's like, so he says, real winners don't make excuses and want participation awards. And I feel like this is exactly what we're talking about right here, people. Is this wanting to be mentioned with the greats is a participation awards. This wanting to be mentioned with the greats is a participation awards. Because to me, participation awards are validation awards. It's just something to make you feel better because you couldn't get it done. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like Michael Jordan and Bird and Magic all hanging. And really, Michael Jordan is in a room by himself to me. Because, again, the thing that has to be restated over and over again is this is not just about championships. But championships is the reason why you play the game. But it's not just about. The reason MJ is in a room alone to me, it's because of the championships, his approach to the game, his individual accolades, his dominance on both offense and defense. It's so many things with MJ. His the way he made the game worldwide. There's so many things with MJ. But, you know, if we're just talking about championships, you know, let's say MJ and Kobe and Tim Duncan and Magic and Bird and Russell all hanging out in a room together. And it's like you got T-Mac looking outside like, man, why can't I come in there, man? Just because I didn't win championships? Why can't I come in the champions room, man? This is sad, man. I averaged 26 points a game. You know, I had some 40-point games and some great comebacks and all this. Why can't I come and hang out with Michael Jordan and them too? It's like, accept your fate. Accept your career. Accept what you did and didn't do. This is why I like Charles Barkley, is because he understands and he accepts the fact that, hey, I couldn't get it done, so I can't go in the room with the championships. It's just the way it is. This is why I like Allen Iverson, because Allen Iverson would tell you, hey, I wish I had done some things differently in my career because I believe I would have had more success. I wish I would have listened to Larry Brown, you know, sooner. I wish it wasn't such a struggle in the beginning for me to be coachable. Allen Iverson has said these things. And so I can respect that. But these players who, oh, well, if I would have just had a Shaq, I would have some championships. If I would have had MJ, I would have had... This is ridiculous, people. I'm not going to lie. This is completely ridiculous. It's like, I wish these players would just get away from the microphone because, you know, I like Tracy McGrady at one point. Just because... he was a great player. He was an exciting player. You know, he had some hops. He had the shot. He had some clutch comebacks. He had some. You know, he was a superstar player. But to me, when you start talking like this, it diminishes what you did. Like, you just have to accept the fact that you didn't do all you could have done to be a champion. Like, I can respect someone who can admit that. I can respect someone who can just go back and say, you know what? I should have did some things differently. There's no reason why you couldn't have put in the same kind of work Kobe Bryant put in. It's like you hear all the players talk about it, but at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is how bad do you want it? The amount of work you put in, that is what that is saying about you. The amount of work you put in is a direct correlation to how bad you really want it. And Kobe wanted it. Tracy McGrady, you didn't want it bad enough. Case closed. Anyway, shout out to At the Black Room Experience. Thank you so much for the $5 super thanks. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And like I said, people, go check out his new podcast, which is The Black Room Experience. And last but not least, shout out to at Carrie Patterson 9520. Comes through with the $5 super thanks. And this is from the same video about maybe I got to come up with a nickname for Tracy McGrady now. Apparently I got to come up with a nickname for Tracy McGrady now. But he says, yo, Uncommon, much love and respect, bro. So this reminded me of a Rachel Nichols interview with Kobe and T-Mac. Rachel asked about their impression of each other as kindred spirits, meeting as teenagers. Kobe said he was aware of how much more freakishly athletic T-Mac was than him, and T-Mac said he'd never seen anyone work as hard as Kobe. Then Rachel asked who won when they went 1v1. T-Mac said, we weren't keeping score. Kobe said, I was. It was 11-3 me. Different mentalities. There are a few more gems in this interview. Watch it if you can. Now, I've seen that interview. As soon as I was reading this, I knew exactly what interview you were talking about. But maybe I should revisit it and actually do a video on it. But this is a fact. Again, people, this is why I say the things that you hear about people over and over, that's because those are the things about their character that stands out. And like I said, when you talk about LeBron James and you're talking about the thing that gets brought up most is him keeping in shape. Like, okay, great. Can I hear about some basketball stuff about LeBron James? Can I hear about him being in a gym working on his shot relentlessly? Why can't this be the narrative? Because LeBron James doesn't work on his game. So yeah, it's like even in this interview when they ask about each other and Kobe says, talks about the athleticism of T-Mac. It's like, okay, because when I think of T-Mac, this is what I think about as well. But everybody, when you talk about Kobe, the first thing that will come up is Mamba mentality. And what is that? That is that work ethic. That is that killer mentality to get it done no matter what, at all costs. When people talk about Jordan, again, this is the same type of thing they talk about, is the killer mentality, the relentlessness. When his teammates talk about him, they talk about how it was in practice and how practice were like game 7s of the NBA finals. Everything was serious. And so the things that you hear about somebody over and over, that's because this is the things that people notice, because it's the things that's most associated with them, because it's the things that people talk about most, and people talk about it because this is what they see. When you see Kobe, you see that on display all the time. The Mamba mentality. So yeah, Tracy McGrady, yeah, great athlete. You didn't have the work ethic or the mentality to get it done. So stop crying, stop wanting a participation trophy, because this is getting ridiculous, people. But like I said, I think between MJ coming back, between LeBron James being towards the end of his career, and more and more people speaking out against LeBron James, because I believe that is part of the trigger too that's causing more polarization, because people speaking out against LeBron James in such a brutal way is like hit dogs are getting hollered. So people are talking about LeBron James, but some of these other players are getting hit with these stones as well, because they're like, oh, you talking about LeBron James, but that applies to me too. So I got to defend LeBron James. So yeah, people. But anyway, shout out to each and every one of you who continue to support the channel. I truly cannot thank you all enough. And yeah, we're going to see what happens next year, people. Michael Jordan's coming back. The next year is going to be maybe one of the most entertaining seasons that we have had in a very long time, for both the right and wrong reasons. Partly because MJ is coming back, but partly because the 4 and 6 Kingdom are going to be unraveling. They're going to be paranoid. They're going to be stressed out. The 4 and 6 Kingdom, they're going to be under fire next year. And I am here for it. I truly cannot wait. But yeah, like I always say at the end of these videos, please continue to, even more so than ever, people. We go into the next year. The world is getting crazy right now. Please continue to support all the channels that bring you the real, people, that bring you their honest opinions. You don't all have to always agree, but you just have to know that these people are not capping, and they're being honest and truthful in their opinions about the game. So please continue to support these people. Shout out to Angry Old Hoops, Sports and Fitness Rants, Phenomenal Fitness, Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports, Uncut Hoops, Brandon Love Sports, 93 Zay, Man Down Sports, Sports T, Dreamers Pro, and anybody else who I'm forgetting at the moment. Please drop them in the comments so that people can go and check them out. Let me know what you think about any of the comments that were made today. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.